Brittany.
Hi.
We're excited to come and bring our opinions today. So you're going to get Brittany's opinion. She is my expert on baby products. Been there, done that, right, Brittany?
Oh, just 3 times or so.
Yeah, that kind of makes her an expert. I mean, anything past 1, right?
Pretty much.
So today we are bringing our opinion about pacifiers. We've got several here, a variety. What have we got today?
We have some of the most common ones that you're going to find if you go to like Walmart, Target, etc. And we have some of the ones that you'll see a lot of moms posting about online that are a little bit harder to find, like going directly to the website. So we have the Passy, the Nook, we have Tommy TP, we have Philips Advent. Probably most of you have seen that one. Dr. Brown's, of course. We have the Momi, the Nini, and the Nano Baby. So
have very similar names right in there.
Yes, a lot of them are pretty similar, and I actually do just have all of these laying around my house.
Awesome. Well, that means you've tried them.
Yes.
So we're going to rate them for you today. I'm going to rate them from the perspective as a lactation consultant. Brittany's going to rate them from the mom perspective,
yes,
as in cost, use, etc. So what are we going to start with today?
Let's start with the Passy, which
Okay.
I think is the weirdest one. It is by far the largest pacifier I have ever seen.
Okay, wait, let's compare it. Okay, hold it up
Yes.
to the camera just a minute. So look at the size of the two.
Yeah,
So see that? And turn sideways. Yep. There you go. Very different.
Vastly different.
Mm-hmm. So what do you want to say about this one?
So this one, I mean, I'm not using the pacifier, so it is a little harder for me to judge them. So a lot of times I'm just looking at them aesthetically, which seems like a silly reason to pick a pacifier, but it is for some reason what I think we often do.
Style points?
Yeah, so style points, I like it because it's so weird looking. I like that it's gigantic and thus harder to lose. It has a nice giant strap here that we could attach one of these little loopies, which neither of us can remember the name of what a pacifier holder is called today. And I just think it's like nice and really, really squishy. So, which I always think is pretty pleasant. So, and all of the ones on this tray, I just cleaned them all and they're all easy to clean. So, let's preface with that one. But let's see what
Baby thinks.
the little baby thinks.
What do you think?
You like this one? She gives it a 3 out of 5.
A 3 out of 5. Okay. So from my lactation perspective, I love the idea that it's bigger and broader. It would make the baby open its mouth wider, possibly go deeper in there as well. One thing I think is kind of weird is if you feel on the tip, one side of the tip has softer, thinner silicone than the other side. So that's kind of weird. I worry about orally, will that develop different muscles in the mouth to have one side be thicker and one side be thinner? So kind of an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah, you can really feel it. The left side on this side,
Yes.
the silicone feels thinner, and on the right side it feels thicker.
Yes, and all of them. And so
Which,
I think about muscles developing differently because of that. So kind of curious thing to think about. So I once again would probably give it somewhere in that range of 3 to 5 as well.
yeah.
I like that it has a broader latch from the baby, but I also wonder about like how deep can that baby get in its mouth and then muscular development.
And I do have to hold this one up for her a little bit. She's doing okay now, but you notice she kind of drops it pretty quickly.
Well, it's kind of heavy on the back side of
Yeah.
it. Like this part of it has that pull away from the mouth heaviness. So, okay, great.
Should get my food scale.
Well, we should weigh them each. What's the next one we have today?
The next one is the Nook, which I think at least everyone of my parents' generation on the planet, I'm pretty sure used one of these at some point. And the Nook, I believe, is characterized by its very specific little flat nipple situation happening here. These are also super affordable and extremely easy to find. And they come in cool patterns.
Yeah, kind of stylish, right?
Yeah, although it's not my favorite aesthetically.
Okay.
But I also think the silicone is kind of stiff and thick on this one, which, again, I'm not using it, but if I were choosing a pacifier for me, I would want one that's a little squishier than this, personally.
Okay.
But
let's do the baby
let's
test.
go to the expert.
Expert.
What do you think of that one? A 1 out of 5 for that one. Look at that face. She does not look happy with this one at all.
That one's out. So I see that a lot with my moms. A lot of them have this one. I see that it's easy for the baby to keep it in its mouth. I also think about, once again, how deep is the baby keeping its mouth, and can that baby make a taco-shaped tongue around the end of this? To breastfeed, that's what I'm looking for, is the ability to taco shape and to get that suction to the roof of the mouth. I do see a lot of moms using it, and the babies seem pretty pleased with it, but that's what I do consider when I'm looking at the Passy, is the shape of the tongue. What's it doing? It's got a preset shape that it's kind of demanding the tongue shape to become, instead of having that kind of rounded look to the tongue. So I probably, once again, I'd probably give it like a 2 out of 5 personally.
Yeah. Not her favorite.
Not a favorite.
Definitely not her favorite. That was an immediate blip.
Okay, what's our next one?
So this one is the Tommy Teepee one, which I genuinely feel like it needs one of these little hooks on, because it's just so
Flat.
smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Aesthetically, I, for some reason, love that about it. It just is nice and perfectly circular, which again has nothing to do with whether it's a good pacifier. But I just
Style
like that.
points.
Right, yes, this one gets style points. The silicone is a little thicker on this, and as hopefully she'll demonstrate, if she's agreeable, it is much easier for her to keep in her mouth. In fact, this is one of the only pacifiers that she keeps in her mouth for longer, but also is not necessarily her favorite. Despite that, it's just easier because of the shape of the nipple, and because it's also stiff, and it doesn't really have anything going on here to pop back out of her mouth. So for me, I like this one as I need you to have something in your mouth for a minute, because I have 2 older kids that need my attention, and I need her to keep this going. But I don't use it as often because I don't think it's as good for breastfeeding. But
Okay.
I'll let you speak to that one.
Let's see about that. Let's see. How's expert? What do you think?
She's like, I'm going to eat my hands. What do you think on this one? She's like, why are you giving me all of these today?
What
You
do
sure
think?
you don't want
One
this
more
one?
time.
Because I know you use this one. Oh, man. Not a fan today. Today
So-
she gives it a 2 out of 5.
Yeah, I do actually like this one. I like how long that tip is, so I know
Yeah.
it can get deep in the mouth. I like the fact that a baby can get a nice taco tongue around it. One thing I don't like as much is that it narrows here by the end of it, and if she's actually on the breast, she's not going to narrow. It's going to widen because of the breast tissue. And not that that's a negative point, but it does kind of help keep it in because it has that narrow point. Now she's going to suck on me. I guess I'm a pacifier.
Yes. She gives you a 5 out of 5.
Yes, a 5 out of 5. So I do like that a baby can get a good taco-shaped tongue on this and get deeper in the mouth. That's a good plus to me. I'd probably give this one more a 3 or 4, honestly, on that realm. Oh, she agrees. See on that one? She gives it a good 4 out of 5.
Yes. Honestly, on a day-to-day basis, she would give this one a 4 out of 5.
So we'll go with that one.
All right. This one is the Philips Advent, and this one is the This one is the stiffest one, which I just hate.
See these commonly at the hospitals.
Yes.
The hospitals pass
I feel
these out.
like it's not aesthetically pleasing to me, which is just silly again.
Oh, wait,
but
but look, it has a smiley face on it. See? Did you see this? A smiley face on it?
it does have a smiley face on it, but it's not making me smile.
Okay.
But this part here is just super, super stiff, and I don't know why that bothers me so much, but it also just feels like everything's just very narrow and small,
And this is very broad.
Yes. It just, I don't know,
Okay.
cannot describe to you why
What
I
do
don't
you
like
give-
it so
what do you
much,
give
but I
it?
just don't. What do you think?
Expert.
Watch her decide. She won't even let me put it in her mouth.
No suction.
There we go. Oh, you got it? She just gave me this look. I think this one is a 1 out of 5.
Okay.
Maybe my score weighted a little in there.
I'm probably going to give this a 2. And I think it depends on the stage of the baby, like a newborn versus a 2-month-old, a 3-month-old. I think the mouth changes in size and shape, so please consider that when you look at a Passy as well.
Sure.
A lot of moms like to start out with this one. It does have a nice long nipple. It does also have this flange that kind of flares out, which helps it lip shape. But again, once as the baby gets older, it's not going to be as useful.
And I do feel like that's so shallow there, too.
It is very shallow, very shallow. So probably give that one a 2 out of 5.
Yeah, not her favorite.
Nope.
This one is the Dr. Brown's, and I don't know about y'all, but I see the Dr. Brown's bottles and everything everywhere. And I love a pacifier that matches up with a bottle because then I feel like it's less confusion. So even though this one is exclusively breastfed, it's always nice to have them have a bottle available. And then if they have a pacifier that matches with that, I just feel like it's cohesive. It makes using the bottle when you want to go get your hair done a little bit easier. So
you
I
feel
like that.
The nipple of this matches the nipple of the bottle.
I do. Okay. I do think it's like closer to that. So it's less of a transition. So this one is also one of the really long ones. I feel like for comparison next to the one we just looked at, you can kind of see it is much longer. Yeah. And it does have, part of that height is this part. I don't remember what you called it, but this part is taller.
I don't know.
Yeah, that part's a little taller. Also, it's a little bit softer. I like that it has this to easily like grab it and again to hook things onto a little bit easier. And yeah, it's just...
And it's commercially available, like easy to find.
This is super easy to
How
find.
do you think that the silicone softness compares to this one?
This is much softer.
Much softer.
It feels thinner, but not like cheap thinner. It just feels like comfy thinner.
Yep. So let's see the expert.
What do you think about that one? I think she says, I'm not in the mood to try pacifiers. Oh, there we go. We like it a little bit more.
That one's staying the longest.
Yeah. I'd give this one maybe like a 3.5 out of 5, just to be difficult for myself and not use a whole number. She seems actually kind of interested in this one. I do think it being longer is a bit different for her.
Yeah. And a little softer.
So,
yeah. I'd probably give it about 3.5 to 4 as well. I like that they can taco shape the tongue. I like the flare here at the end. So it causes the baby to flare out. It's bigger than the other one. Once again, thinking of the age of the baby as well. Might factor into our choice. And I like that there's not a lot of excess material around the base of it to be around the nose and the mouth. Mm-hmm. There's also a divot out here for the nose, so you can get under the nose, whereas the Philips one was just a circle all the way around no matter where your nose is.
That's true. Yeah, that's not as nice there. Maybe that's what I didn't like about the smile. A little dip between the eyebrows.
Okay, our next one.
Oh, okay. This one is the Momi, and this one is pretty popular online. As far as I know, I think you can only buy it directly from the website, so it's a little bit harder to get. The silicone is both, like, it feels like thicker as in like a higher quality, but also, as you'll see, extremely squishy, and that squishiness goes into this. So all of my judgment of those other stiff ones, you know it's because I love how this feels.
Yeah.
It also comes in a ton of colors. So aesthetically, this one is like probably my favorite. I just enjoy it for the person not using it. This one is not as tall as the Dr. Brown's.
A little shorter, but it flares out wider at the base.
But like if you compare it, for instance, Tommy TV, again, this one's a little bit shorter than some of these. I guess it starts about there. But it has the little flare out part. And also I've found that, especially like with her as a newborn, I can put my finger right here and kind of like help hold it in her mouth and stuff. Because she needed a little help holding it in her mouth. So this one was one that she definitely had more trouble keeping in her mouth. I guess because it does have more of a flare. It doesn't have that little dip thing where they can really like grab
with their
like
lips.
that. Yeah, exactly. So she has to work a little harder. So if she's actively sucking, she can hold on to it. But if she gets lazy, it falls out. I mean, I personally really like this one, but it does require a bit more focus from her. So what do you think?
What do you think, expert? Why don't you put your finger in it again? Show us how.
So what's really cool is I can, and then she's chewing on my finger, so with that, because she decided she wants to chew on it.
So what would you give this one overall?
Honestly, I would give this one, like, I'm gonna have to go back and re-rate these now that I'm comparing them to each other. I give this one like a 3.5 as well. Maybe I'll give it a 3. I really like it, but it is harder for her to keep in her mouth on her own, and the vast majority of the reasons we use pacifiers is independently for them. Right. So it is a bit more challenging for her.
Yeah, more of a fuss. And this one doesn't have the notch out for the nose either. It does all the way around. Dr. Brown's does. I do like how I like how flexible this one is too, and I do like that it has a good length on it, and I can put my finger, because even when I'm working with the baby too, we're doing tongue movement, I can manipulate a little different. It's very flexy, So to me, I'd probably give it a good 3 because I do
Yeah.
like a lot of aspects around it. So
Only she could hold on to it a little bit better. But
agreed.
I feel like the ones good for lactation are not as good for holding independently because they're not really holding a boob independently in their mouth. So
That's true. Okay, this one.
So this one is actually the one we're using the most often right now. Despite that, it is a little challenging to use. So
The Nini, right?
this is the Nini, yes, which would be helpful if I told you. It's also, you notice, the only one that I have the dongle on.
Tether on it.
It also is extremely unique looking. It has the tiniest little nipple at the end. It has a much larger little flare here.
Compared to this one.
Yeah. Like if you hold those up, you can see like they're like very, very different looking. It's also extremely, like, again, silicone thin, but like high quality, but extremely, extremely thin. And completely the whole thing, again, you can collapse, very comfy. I do really like that about it. But it is quite tiny there. So this is another one that has lots of colors and things like that. Which is nice.
And once again, not easy to find. You got to get it online.
Yes, another one that you have to go directly to the website. Last I looked.
Expert.
And
what'd she say?
this one, I mean, we'll see if she's in the mood now. However, our experience with this one so far has been that she likes this one the most, holding it in her mouth. She's the most, I guess, motivated to hold it in her mouth. And that's why it's the one we tend to have with us. So even now you see she's a little bit more likely to hold it in her mouth despite clearly not wanting a pacifier right now. So I've really enjoyed this one, but I often have to put it back in her mouth. And she will get upset when she loses it, whereas some other ones she doesn't care, shouldn't want to begin with. This one she tends to get upset, so she likes it. So I think it might be one of the more boob reminiscent ones.
Yeah.
Because she's happy with it, generally speaking.
So what would you give it overall? A 3? Or 4? What do you give?
I'll give this one a 4 with the caveat that you just have to put it back in your mouth a lot, which
Okay.
I don't love having to do that, but otherwise it's good. Yeah.
Yes. And so there's things I like about this one as well. I like that it's really flexible. I like the silicone. It's really soft. It's thin feeling.
Yeah.
What I think is interesting is it doesn't have very long for her to get a taco tongue shape around it.
Yeah.
But when I think about that tongue in the end, I really want the tongue over the front gums and tacoing in the back. So I can see how this design does work well for that. One nice thing I do like as a lactation consultant is that I can put my finger in here and I can manipulate as well because it's very wide. I can put my thumb in here. It's so big.
Yeah.
But it's also nice because I can just see well. So when I put this in a baby's mouth and their tongue is out and they're sucking, I can see what's happening. Did they extend their tongue fully? Is their tongue stuck back? So it helps me have a good view as a lactation consultant, kind of what's going on in their mouth without having to have their mouth open. So it does have that taco ability on it. It does have the like soft and pliableness of it. And I mean, if she can keep it in her mouth and she's exclusively breastfed, then I would go. That gets a higher point for me, so I'm coming up to that like 4 points. I wouldn't mind though if it had a little more notch out of it, like clearance for the nose to be, because it's so round on a small newborn. As they get bigger, you can see
she's not very small.
Yeah, they don't need the notch as much, but a smaller baby, the notch is a little better, so it's not squishing at the nose. And
Very
that kind
true.
of thing. So.
It has gotten a little easier for her as she has gotten bigger with some of these other ones. So.
And this is our last one today, our 8th one.
That's the Nano Baby, which, again, I'm not positive they have it easily available on Amazon, but it's not commonly found in like other stores, or again, at least it wasn't. Has lots of different colors and things. This one they also have a bottle, but I could not tell you if it's a 1-for-1 on the bottle.
Right, yeah, I'm going to compare it to the Tommy.
It's very petite.
So see that one and compare it to the Nook as well.
And it's a similar shape to the Philips.
Yes,
but it's much softer.
Yeah. So it really does have a very
better.
similar look and height to the Philips. So if you have a baby who already likes this and you want to transition to something else that's softer, this is another good one for that one. But even the nipple shape, it doesn't quite have the same flare, but they both have like a little flare. They both have that same kind of rounded tip at the end. So they're very similar in both ways. Cost different. Ability to get it is different.
Yeah.
What is the expert?
And it also has a little bit better of a shape at the top here.
Mm-hmm.
So
has a little notch out for the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Expert, let's see.
She's like, why would I like that when I have my hand?
I know. Let's see. What do you like?
Will you hold it in your mouth? It's not really fair to our guest judge right now since I'm not giving her a chance to actually adapt to any of them. So, poor baby. But she
Once
doesn't
again,
seem super interested.
The
in
nipple's
this
going to
one.
be short.
Yeah.
And so for her age and her size, this is not going to be as amenable to her, right?
I think she's giving it about a 2. She's not interested.
Did you spit it at me? So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So once again, I do like that there's a notch out for the nose.
Yeah.
That it can kind of fit against the face better. The problem is when it doesn't have the notch out, the nose kind of keeps things back and away from the face. So this does help to fit more aerodynamically, like in the mouth and around the face.
I agree.
I do like that it does have like a little notch here. It's harder to see on here. That does flare out the lips a little, but it does have a nice good length on it. But once again, trying to think of, is this able to get that taco cup around it, but also have that tying extended for like what's happening when I'm sucking on it. So at this one, I haven't been as big of a fan on that, so I'd probably give it somewhere like a 2.5 if I could get that one. What about you?
Yeah, honestly, I like it better than this one, but I am not, I don't know, it's so stiff still. It's
really
still like pretty stiff, it's pretty straight.
Can't really get my fingers, more traditional.
Yeah, I feel like I don't get the benefit of like this one where it's easier for them to like latch on with their lips, and then I don't get the benefit of these that have more flair for breastfeeding, so just not my favorite. Although I did remember one more thing about the Momi. I had mentioned this about the Dr. Brown, but the Momi one is identical to the bottle. And we did find, this was one of the first ones that she used, and we liked it. And after using this for like a week, we were able to use the bottle with 0 complaints for her, which I have not had with either of my other 2 kids who fought the bottle at any opportunity.
So you felt like that passy was a good transition into bottle.
Yes. So I did think that worked really well. And again, what I will say is having 3 kids and you having quite a few yourself, every kid is completely different and may like one that you have no idea why they like it and hate one that every other kid liked. So
these are the 2 you say closest mimic the bottles.
Yes.
For this brand.
Yeah. So Dr. Brown and Momi. Yeah. And again, Dr. Brown's easy to find. Momi's a little harder to find, but advertises itself. Both Momi and the Nini and the Passy all advertise themselves as very pro breastfeeding as they advertise.
There you go. So we'll see. So, and it does, from my viewpoint, it does depend on the baby, the age of the baby, what's issues happening in the baby's mouth, according to what passy would be better for them. I recommend too that like if someone gives you several, great. If not, then from your friend, clean it off. Try it out. Like. See what you want to do. Just make sure things are sanitized.
It is nice if you can try before you buy sanitized. But
then again, do remember that passies do deteriorate over time. So this is not something you can keep on like, oh, I use this passy my first one. I'm going to use it for my 5th one or my 4th one, right? You're going to want to use them, move on with them from then. And also the issue that if you get your baby on a passy, at any point you want to get the baby off the passy, that can actually be a big challenge in the family. Because we're trying to help good muscular development in the mouth and not overdevelop anything and not leading to speech issues when they're older, etc. But it can be nice like segue for the moment to help moms have a little bit of peace if they need it. So
yes, my first 2 were not big pacifier fans at all, but with another one under 3, we now need it occasionally. And I would probably give Tommy TP probably is the best one for that, to give you the time and space, for my opinion. So this would probably the one I would say is number 1 for me, followed by the Nini, which she just seems to enjoy the most, despite the fact that I have to pop it back in her mouth every 3 seconds. And then probably the Momi, just for its ability to switch back and forth with the bottle, worked pretty well. So those would be my personal top 3
well, great.
For this baby.
Now you've heard it from the product expert here, so... Grateful you guys could join us today as we give you some insight into pacifiers and their use.